So this morning we were supposed to wake up at 6:30. What we didn't calculate is that 6:30 was 12:30 a.m. to our bodies. By the time we got the boys ready and everybody got off, it was like 8:45, I guess.
Yeah, we started to get into London, into the city. It was so exciting because there were already subway signs and red double-decker buses and all these old buildings that are just amazing and unique to England. So we drove into the heart of the city, and that's kind of a little wall itself because London is a huge sprawling city. And we found a parking spot and all loaded out of the car, and we were pretty cold. We had on a lot of layers. We walked down Oxford Street, which is a very populated street with a lot of upscale shops.
It had cool Christmas lights hanging everywhere. Got to see that later at night.
When it got dark.
When we got back, yeah.
It got dark around 4 o'clock.
And also started to rain, which...
hard! Yeah. And thunder and lightning.
We got very wet.
Yes. And I was afraid my umbrella was going to turn inside out because the wind was so hard.
At least you had an umbrella.
Yeah.
We had a really nice day. The weather was perfect.
It was perfect up until then, which was fine because we were about to leave. We went to the Tube. We got off at Westminster. And then right as soon as we got out, we went to the Eye. So that was our first stop.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. We had to go right under it.
Yeah, right next to it. And then from the bridge, well, not the bridge, but the overlook where the Eye is, it's right next to the Thames. So we saw the Thames and everything across the river. We could see Parliament and Big Ben.
Oh, we saw St. Paul's.
Yes, we could see St. Paul's. There was a Christmas market going on by the wheel, but also there was a lot of performers just out doing their thing, which I figure is pretty typical, even when it's not Christmas. There was this one guy who was blowing these enormous bubbles that were really beautiful.
So Galileo played in those for a little while with Ruth. That was cool. Yeah. And then we went to lunch at
the Giraffe. Or just Giraffe.
Giraffe, yeah. It was so good.
It's so fancy.
It's so much better than American food. And I'm going to miss that when I come back.
Yeah, I know.
They just have such good food.
All the food is amazing.
Yeah, Ruth's been cooking, and Tyler have been cooking.
Ruth and Tyler's cooking.
Oh, they're fantastic cooks.
Yeah, they are.
So good.
And they just make it up from scratch.
Yeah.
They just keep these recipes in their head.
We're about to have lamb for dinner.
And mash.
You know that? Yeah.
And last night we had chicken curry with rice, and then chard sauteed with feta cheese, and an arugula, beetroot and carrot and raisin salad, and ciabatta bread.
Yeah, it was great. They call arugula rocket here.
Yeah, it's called rocket, which is so cool. So after lunch, we went to another
Christmas market.
Yeah,
another Christmas market.
They had so many beautiful,
cute,
locally
creative.
Designed and made things. So cute.
Yeah, it was really inspiring for some things to make. Yeah. Okay, so after that, we moved locations. Is that when we...
Yeah, that's when we walked across the bridge, right?
Yes, and we went to the National Art Gallery.
Yes, so we walked across the bridge.
Then
we had to walk a little bit longer to get to Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, there you go.
It's hard to spit out. And Trafalgar Square, there are lots of embassies for other countries in Great Britain.
Yeah.
And those are pretty awesome.
Oh, and then there was that tree.
Yes.
Norway.
Yeah.
Norway gives them a tree every year to thank them for helping them in
World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was this huge, tall Norway spruce, and it had lights and a star on it. It was really cool.
But then we went in the art gallery for a little while and checked out some Van Goghs and Monets and Manets.
And Rousseau and Rembrandt and Renoir and Cézanne. And they're all originals.
Yeah, so cool.
Didn't they have one Da Vinci original? The one with Mary and her child?
Yeah.
One of the many?
I think so, yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, Van Gogh's sunflower painting.
Yeah, they had a couple of Van Goghs. After the art gallery,
we went to Westminster Abbey.
The mall.
Yeah.
Yes. We didn't go to the Abbey. We need to.
Where did we go?
We just went to The Abbey wasn't right there.
Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
We went to the mall and Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, so we walked down this whole mall, which is just the road that leads up to the palace. And it's very long and grand. And we walked down that, and you can walk right in the middle of it. Because it's okay for pedestrians.
Yeah, the streets were closed off.
And when you get a little closer to the palace right before you get there, there's St. George's or St. James Palace? St. James Palace. And there were guards outside with the big rabbit skin or whatever it is.
Rabbit skin?
I think it is rabbit skin.
Well.
What else would be black and furry? Except for like
A bear?
a skunk. It might be bear skin. I think it's bear skin. I think you're right. And then we walked around the Hyde Park.
Yeah. Which was a long walk. Just to get back to the car.
Everything's a long walk, yeah.
We walked
But
a
it's
long
okay.
time. So then we walked back to the car. We drove home.
Yeah. That was it.
Now we're back at Tyler's house.
About to have.
And about to eat dinner.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go to bed.
And then we're gonna go to bed and sleep. It's just as wonderful as all the travel videos you watch. It kind of feels smaller a little bit, but it's still all huge. It's a huge city.
Anyway, that's day number 2, technically.
It was so exciting. Everything was so
Fun
wonderful.
day and Monday.
It's day, 2? 3?
3.
Day 3. So we got up probably about 4. If by 4 you mean 11:45.
Do you want to talk about our day?
Today we felt a lot better.
Mhm.
We got up, got ready really slowly, and then we had lunch.
We got in the car after we ate lunch, right?
Yeah.
And where did we go?
Well,
Where? You know the name of the place we went?
well,
Where did we go?
well.
We went to... Anna can tell us where.
We went to Wimple Estate. It was so pretty, and I don't think it was one of the grander estates in London, but it was so big anyways, and the stable had this steeple on top of it. Like, what stable has a steeple? And it had a courtyard, and then you could go around to different shops in the courtyard. Let's see, and we walked around the garden.
That was really pretty. Lots of cool trees.
And they had, it was called a Dutch garden, which had a lot of hedges and shapes, like, they had triangles made out of hedges with plants in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think they called that a Dutch garden. And then in the opposite direction, you could go and see the orchards, and they had all kinds of plants. It was a big garden. And then it led to a greenhouse with more plants. And then back in the distance, in the back of the manor, you could see a folly, which Ruth said they built to look like a Roman ruin to add some interest to the scenery.
One of the main things they had in mind as they built the house was scenery. Out one side of the house. Gorgeous. You could just see for so far off.
Pretty.
There's lots of green, flat grass and trees and sheep.
Yeah.
It was so gorgeous. So the other side didn't really have anything, so that's why they built the Roman ruins.
Yeah, so they built the folly, and it looked kind of like a castle way back in the back. And she said someone has actually lived there in the past, so... Oh, and we also went inside the parish church, St. Andrew's, and they have had... That church has been there since the 1600s at least, because there was someone buried there in 1671.
What are these? Are these your pants?
Well.
What are they?
They're not your pants!
What? Trousers? Ow,
That's silly.
I'm sorry. Those are your trousers.
After the estate, we went to a different manor called Burwash.
Yeah.
And there were some shops there.
We went and got our
Oh yeah,
tea and coffee.
yeah.
And chocolate cake.
It's so good.
Scrumptious. But then there was just this whole little village-looking thing of shops. We went into this one children's boutique, and we brought out the kids and us and bought ourselves each a necklace with
Tinkerbell! Ah! Yeah,
we're very excited.
so
about
mature.
them.
We should get them out and put them on
Yeah, we should. Let's do
and
it.
see if they fit. Is it the right way around?
Yeah, it's mine.
Go!
That was a lame pie. Let's do it.
That's better.
Well, that's all from today. We'll probably eat dinner and then maybe play a game or just talk.
So,
Cambridge Day.
yeah! Today we went to Cambridge. It was so cool. I love Cambridge.
Cambridge is a really fun place. It's got a lot of energy. Is it small or is it just really compact because Tyler said it's so small. And I was like, this is a big city, and it's got that posh mall.
I think it's a popular city, not a big city.
But it had that vibe of a whole lot of people just all over the place, and there are a lot of students from all the colleges.
Yeah, there are a lot of people.
And there are a lot of people there. So I really liked that aspect of it. And it may have been really crowded because of Christmas season shopping. That's always fun. We started out the day by going to the Hazelingfield Methodist Church to see Galileo in his play school Christmas play. It was so cute.
He was a little shepherd. They sang cute little Christmas songs.
Yeah.
It was so sweet. Galileo was an adorable shepherd.
After that, we headed on up to Cambridge, which is about 15 to 20 minute drive.
Yeah, we walked over the Thames River and got to see a lot of the country of Cambridge and the oldness of it, and lots of really old buildings, and it was fantastic. Just how old everything
It's incredible.
was.
I think there was a building that Tyler said was from the 1300s, right?
I think so.
It was so beautiful.
That's when Cambridge, the school, was founded, right?
The 1300s?
Or 1400s?
I think so, yeah.
1300s?
Yeah, and all the colleges are huge.
Oh,
Very ornate.
Especially King's College.
Yeah.
They all have their own chapel, and King's College Chapel is massive. It's so beautiful.
Let's see, we walked down the street, we went to the outdoor market, and I guess that's an every weekday thing. There were just vendors selling food and coffee and shirts and souvenirs and bags. We walked to St. Michael's Church, which now has a restaurant in the narthex.
Yeah.
It was such a good restaurant, good food.
Quaint little
Michael
shop.
House Cafe, and they had like regular English dishes. I got quiche and potatoes, and
I got a fat little pizza.
that was literally the name of it.
Yeah.
And pretty much everywhere you go, you can get coffee, but when you get a cappuccino in England, it's like you don't typically get flavor. It's a real cappuccino, which I really appreciate because it's very good coffee.
And then we walked around to shops.
Yeah, we went in Cath Kidston, which is kind of a big brand over here.
So cute. It's kind of like a Vera Bradley.
We went into this huge shopping center and the British kind of equivalent of Macy's, which is called John Lewis, and that was a huge department store.
Oh, yeah, it was
They had
massive.
everything. It was a fun day though. I'd like to spend more time in Cambridge
It
if
was
we have time.
so beautiful. I like the oldness and
That's the
the new,
best.
like, it's just a lot of history and modern culture
Yeah.
mixed together. That was really neat. So today we went to see
The Hobbit!
Let's try
Put
that.
on the draw there.
Today we went to see
The Hobbit!
Okay, you gotta wait for me to cue you.
Oh, I have to cue you. Okay, that was a little fast. The other one was a little slow. I think I got it this time though.
Today
That rhyme, maybe? Sorry.
Today we went to
The Hobbit!
Yay!
Yeah.
So we got in the car and went and picked up Galileo from his play school. And then we went to Cambridge, and Ruth dropped us off and pointed to where the theater was. So we walked a couple blocks down, and
It was clearly signed. There were two large neon signs on either side of the
What did they
picture
say?
house.
Picture house.
Yeah, they said picture house in that theater.
Yeah. But somehow we walked into the pub.
I think there were two entrances to the theater, and it was above the pub because we had to
Yeah.
walk up a lot of stairs. But the big entrance was the pub, and it wasn't clearly marked like the theater.
Right, so we walked in, and I was like, so why is everyone eating stuff outside
So let's
of the
walk
theater?
a little farther. I've never seen a theater like
So
this,
we-
but hey, this is English.
We keep going in, and we both looked like tourists. We were kind of
Big red light.
staring
Tourists,
us down.
cool.
Yeah.
These girls don't know where they are.
So all the adults
Should we
were like,
help them? No.
we watched the movie, and I had never seen any Lord of the Rings movies before. So I was expecting to be really bored.
It was
But
awesome,
I
though.
actually got finished with it, and I looked at Anna and I was like, is it over? Was that really 3 hours
Well,
already?
yeah.
And she was like, oh, it felt like it took so long.
Because they had some really long battle sequences, and I was just like, okay, come on, get this over with, people. They had a lot of unnecessary footage, I felt like, but it was still an amazing movie. Amazing cast. Amazing prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay, yesterday, we went to Anglesey Abbey. It was a huge property.
There's a lot more land than there is
Stuff.
stuff. There was a mill. Lode Mill is about 4 stories high, but it was unusual to the mills that I've seen normally because they're typically, a building with a wheel outside of it, and then the river comes down and forms a waterfall, and they've built the wheel there so that it catches the water. But this mill was kind of like they created their own waterfall for the purpose of the mill. So they had the building, and then underneath it they'd built this really deep basement and a water wheel underneath it. So when they open the sluice gate, the water will fall down and make a waterfall and turn the wheel, and then that turns everything else inside it. So that was a cool mill. We walked around inside of that and looked at all the different cogs, and man, everything in there was huge. They told us that there's been a mill on that spot for about 1,000 years, right? And it's been different things, but right now it's a flour mill, and that was pretty awesome.
Didn't they say they used to make 10 tons a week?
20
tons a week?
Yeah, 20 tons a week
Of flour.
of flour.
And now they make that much about a year. We got to see how everything worked. And it's a massive, massive operation.
It is
in a little
huge
tiny
and
building.
Yeah, and it's pretty advanced too because there are a whole lot of stages that it has to go through. Like this has to turn this, and this has to turn this, which turns this, which turns this, which finally grinds everything down. So that's amazing how advanced technology that was. Once we finished at the mill, we walked by the river a little bit and then through some gardens.
Oh, my favorite one were
Birches
the
are
birch trees.
beautiful. They look like something out of a fantasy book. As we were walking through the forest and the gardens, we came to the abbey, which used to be where a bunch of monks lived, and they ran the mill for a while, but now no one lives there, obviously. And I assume it's had several owners since then, but we couldn't go inside because it's closed for the winter, so we didn't get to learn a lot about the abbey itself.
They had this on the abbey. They had this tree growing up growing up the wall.
It's an advent calendar.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, wasn't it? Anyway, we kept walking after the monastery, and we reached, what was it called? The
Wildlife Discovery Center.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we'd already discovered a whole bunch of wildlife. But it extends over about 24 acres, and they've
The
got
Wildlife Discovery
Yeah,
Center.
the area.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of things for kids. They had this awesome tree house with 2 levels.
Then we came back home, and Anne and I took about a 3-hour nap before dinner.
Yeah, for real.
We had dinner about 9 o'clock. So good. And then Tyler made us chocolate crepes.
Crepes with Nutella. And today we went into Cambridge again, but we needed to do some shopping. But the first thing we did was we went to, where did we go? John Lewis, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
We just shopped around in the mall.
It's the Saturday before Christmas. We're in Cambridge. It's raining. Little red flag going up.
It wasn't too bad though. It wasn't raining too hard.
No, and the crowds weren't that bad actually.
Then we decided to go to the King's College Chapel. It's amazing.
Wow, it's so elaborate.
So big.
King Henry VI laid the foundation of King's College, and that was on Passion Sunday in 1441, did they say?
Yeah. The ceiling was 80 feet high, and that part was completed in 1550. So it's really old for one thing. So all the prophecies or parallelisms to the story of Christ were depicted on the top panel of all the stained glass windows, and then on the bottom were the fulfillment of those prophecies. So we thought that was fascinating. So after the chapel, we wanted to get something nice and British for lunch since this is our last full day here. So we decided to find a tea shop or something like that. And Ansley remembered a pastry shop that she'd seen. What square is that? Is that Market Square?
It had the market in it.
I would assume it's Market Square then, in Cambridge. So we walked over there, got a little bit lost, and then found our way again. But it was raining, so it was pretty cold and wet. And we found West Cornwall Pasty Company,
And I got a Cornish pasty, and you guys got like a traditional one, and then they got a chicken and vegetable one, which was kind of like a chicken pot pie. And we got hot chocolates in big mugs and headed upstairs, and it's the cutest little place. It's got about three or four levels. Everything's brightly painted, and it's got a lot of antiques in there. It was so cute.
So cute. The
Very
food.
The
Oh
food was
my
amazing.
goodness, it was so good. And it wasn't that expensive.
No, it wasn't expensive at all for British food. It was a good day.
Last day in England, we booked our tickets, or booked our seats.
Yeah, we got
For our
checked
flight.
in for a flight.
We got another window seat. Yay! So we'll fly home tomorrow. Can you feel the love tonight? So we're flying home from London.
We've got about 20 minutes until we land.
So excited. It's been a really long flight, but we've entertained ourselves well. But we're really tired right now.
And we're excited about getting back into the States and hopefully getting something to eat, some caffeine, because it's 12 o'clock London time, so that's what our brains are on right now. And it's only about, 6:45 Atlanta time, so we have to adjust.
We've got a ways to go. I've got a 2.5 hour drive ahead of me, and Anna's got a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah, so I've got a lot more traveling to do, but I'm excited to be home for Christmas.
Can't believe that tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Actually, in London right now is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, you're right. That's awesome. 20 minutes to landing.
Seatbelt signs came on. Gotta go!